Believe me when I tell you that all Nigerian leaders are the same. So this is IBB's book launch. IBB actually did a book launch, and you can see that all the Nigerian politicians were there. Tinubu was there, Buhari was there, Goodluck Jonathan was there. Now, this is to tell you that all the politicians in Nigeria are all the same. Now, there were two shocking things that happened during the book launch. Now, why are we celebrating corrupt leaders in Nigeria? In other countries, they celebrate development, but in Nigeria, we celebrate corruption. So, IBB, during the book launch, actually said something. And what did he say? He said that the 1993 election was won by MQ Abiola. That was what he said during the book launch. Now, if Nigeria is a country where law is working, he is supposed to be cooling in jail. And in fact, he is supposed to write that book from jail. But because of corruption in Nigeria, we are busy celebrating him. And then the biggest financial mistake ever in the history of Nigeria also happened during that book launch. So they donated about 17.5 billion naira for IBB during the book launch. And guess what they are going to be using this money for? They are going to be using the money to build a presidential library in the name of IBB. Who is going to go to that library to read books? Is it Nigerian youth who are suffering on the street, or who? Do you think Nigeria need this library at this point? For me, that money should have been used to empower the youth on the street, or they can even use that money to buy tractors and mowers. Yes, for farmers, so that we can be producing more, food in Nigeria, because many countries are trying to become independent right now, and they really need food. That is what is happening in Burkina Faso. Can you see why these people don't like Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso? Because of what he's doing. So what do you think about this IBB book launch? Do you think it was necessary to launch this book, and should Nigeria celebrate him for launching a book and then coming out to say that he was the one that cancelled the election in 1993? Now, fast forward to 1993. Many of Nawe don't understand the history and the things will happen. This is what happened. So this is about 32 years ago, because 1993 to 2025 is 32 years ago. I was not even born. Yes, during that election, they have not given birth to me. That was 32 years ago. This is what happened. The election was hard between two political parties in Nigeria, SDP and NRC. Now, NRC candidate was Bashir Atofa, and then the SDP candidate was MK Abiola. So IBB was the then military head of state. So IBB thought Bashir Atofa, who was a northerner, is going to win the election. But obviously, after the election, MK won the election. So what did IBB did? IBB cancelled the election. So when he cancelled the election, there was massive protest in Nigeria. So because of pressure, he handed over power to another interim government. So he transferred the power to a Yoruba man known as Shonekan, so that the pressure from Nigeria will not be too much, and then international organization will not come in, and then So this is what he did. And then the Yoruba man that came to power spent just 3 months in office, and then he was removed in another military coup led by General Sani Abacha. Sani Abacha wanted to hand over power to MQ Abiola in 1998, but unfortunately, the same year MQ Abiola died was the same year Abacha also died. So if you read the Nigeria history, the only president in Nigeria that won election but never ruled the country is MQ Abiola. So this was the history behind what Sani or Babangida said. Now, with what I've just said concerning this whole thing right now, do you think Babangida should be launching a book, or he should be cooling in Kuje prison? Why is Nigeria celebrating corruption? This man is not expected to be celebrated. Why? Because they have tarnished the image of this country. They were part of the people that actually destroyed Nigeria. Until today, Nigeria never even recover from the damage they don't cause to this country. Share the video if you are a true patriotic citizen, and drop your opinion. What do you think about this whole thing?
I know it's small thing. Ibrahimbabangida released book, and everybody they clap for that room. Everybody, even Nigerians gone home and abroad, some of them they praise him, some of them they talk say, thank you Ibrahimbabangida for confessing. Anyway, for this video, very dark man don't come outside talk say, IBB, you are supposed to be cooling in jail. You are supposed to spend the rest of your old age in jail for holding down Nigeria. And who knows if Abiola would have been the one to transform Nigeria into Dubai or into other developed countries. Instead of people clapping for IBB, they are supposed to hold him accountable. They are supposed to drag him. They are supposed to call the police or arrest him. Anyway, guys, I'm going to make watch this video. Yeah, everything very dark man got to talk. I'll see you guys in my next video.
All right. So the news says Ohaneze seek apology of 10 trillion naira compensation from Tinubu, Well, I don't think it's supposed to be to Tinubu. It's supposed to be to the federal government. Yes, the Igbo people need apology from the federal government. Because if IBB's book is revealing that waiting we think say na Igbo coup will lead to the Biafra war, will lead to the paining of a lot of Igbos, the starvation of a lot of Igbos, the disastrous impact to their tribe. Do you understand? If at the end of the day, IBB's book is telling us that it's not the Igbo coup, then it's crazy. You understand? The federal government need to apologize to these people. By now, Seth, to be very honest, normally, the whole country is supposed to be on the streets. They're supposed to do a protest because of this book. They're supposed to do a protest and demand that the federal government apologize to the Igbos. Now, this generational beef don't happen since that coup. There's a generational beef where don't happen since the coup and since Biafra. Some tribes now, they fear. A lot of tribes, they fear because they know say, okay, yes, they fear say, if Igbo man turn president for this country, that's where Ojuku be won't do. Now the Igbo man go won't do. The Igbo man self go one scatter Nigeria. Do you understand? The Yorubas, from which side they say, because the Yorubas and the Igbo, they always attack themselves for Twitter. The Yorubas go attack Igbos. They go call the Igbos go attack Yorubas, say they be betrayer, and then betray this thing where make Ojuku no get Biafra. The Yorubas go talk their own. Do you understand? But again, that thing, that's cool, has dented the names of the Igbos where make some tribes does not want an Igbo man to get power. Usually it's supposed to be outside Igbo Yoruba where go enter power. You understand? They're supposed to share them. You get, but for some reason it didn't happen. So I'm also of the opinion that they deserve an apology and they deserve compensation. Not just that, there's supposed to be a march across the whole Nigeria for this revolution. And that IPP book self, they're not even supposed, that book not even supposed to be where people they go buy, they read. Although it's good to get the knowledge, but I'm not sure say IPP is supposed to make money from that book. And like I said in my previous post, bro, if the advanced country, that man is supposed to pay for whatever thing he did and all in that June 12th election. And they see for Twitter now, they say, he create a lot of states. He can do that. Do you understand? But, more... Anyways, I follow for the people where they request and they demand apology for the Igbos from the federal government, not from Tinubu. You understand? Because Tinubu no follow for the military regime then. Yes, he didn't no follow. So it's from the federal government. Because after Tinubu, the government still there. So it's from the federal government. It's not Tinubu's government, the federal government, the whole structure of the government. The federal government should apologize to the Igbo. And that 10 trillion, yes, no na carry federal government go court. Your generation suffered because of that coup. Not just your generation, because at the end of the day, not only the Igbos they buy during this thing. My own generation too suffer. The Hausa suffered, the Yoruba suffered because of a lie. A lot of tribes suffered because of that lie. Because of the manipulation, a lot of tribes suffered. No, let me not limit it to the Igbos now. Because of a single lie. And a single narrative. That was an Igbo coup. So yes, they deserve an apology. And yes, all in the favor of a good protest, peaceful protest. So me, if you notice the way I talk since I try coin my word way before they come say a very dark man is the one that ignited the fire, or is the one that what be that their English where they use instigated people to go and protest and scatter life and property. I beg, peaceful, peace and love, don't play.